Welcome to the West Coast Swing Discord live Q&A session. We're now live across Discord, Facebook, YouTube, and even Twitch. It's a special all-girl power panel for you this month, and we're bringing you four top West Coast Swing dancers for you to chat to. Now, before we start, I'm going to address a topic that's raging across our community currently. That's the WSDC venue debate. Yuval and I have created this Q&A live podcast format to connect our guests with the community and also bring it together on a platform that everyone can use. Therefore, we think it would be unfair to discuss this topic here, as it put us, you, and our guests in a position they were not expecting, and it could easily turn into something no one would like listening to. But one of our guests, Estelle, who is a WSDC board member, has given me an email address, and she wants to have your thoughts and opinions on this matter. So please don't spam her on Instagram and Facebook or Discord. Send her an email at this address, and this is the one she's given me. It's Estelle at worldsdc.com. Estelle is spelled ESTELLE at worldsdc.com. Now, all moderators and our guests have been briefed on this issue, and we will ask everyone politely not to talk about this topic in the chat and also on voice questions. I think we all need to remember this is a Q&A with top West Coast Swing dancers, not a Q&A to discuss just one issue with the dancers who have genuinely given us our time today, or their time today even. Now, some quick rules before we start. I think we're all fed up with Skypes and Google Meets, especially Zooms. So we're a webcam-free zone. You can be naked right now, on the toilet, sunbathing, or even running. Please make sure you keep the chat politics-free. That's for West Coast Swing and any other flavour. You can now ask questions via text or voice in Discord. You can also ask them via YouTube or Facebook. If you do ask a question, though, please put the word question in front of it. This chat goes crazy, and I need to keep giving Yuval these questions so we can find it, check it, and send it through to Yuval. This layout's quite simple. First part of the Q&A is about an hour long. We take a one-song break, maybe two if I'm feeling generous. Second part's about 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how the conversation goes. Now, if you do misbehave, decide to be an idiot, one of the team will kick you immediately from Discord. No questions asked. So, sitting somewhere in a kitchen, closet, outside his window, on the balcony, in Vienna, who else would be asked to do all the questions but the question master himself? The YY Westie, Mr. Yuval Yaary.
Thank you, Justin. I think you Brits refer to it as the water closet, right? Never mind. Anyway, it's great to be here. I'm super happy. Thank you so much for joining us. That's amazing. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Topi, Krysha, Andi. Amazing team. And now it's time to introduce our all-girl power panel from LA, California, Victoria Henk. Now it's time for Victoria to unmute. Okay.
Is it another PJ situation?
I hope not. I hope not. Never mind. Let's go on. I hope Victoria is okay. From Montpellier, France, Estelle Bonnaire.
I'm here.
Yes, she's here.
I got one.
I got one. Let's try the next one. From Berlin, Germany, Emeline Rochefeuille.
Oh, very good pronunciation.
Oh my
good
God,
job.
I've been practicing so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, from San Francisco, California, it's Alyssa Marie Glanville.
What up? How's it going?
How are you?
Good.
Great to have you all here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
We'll start with some self-introduction. Estelle, can you please start and tell our audience about yourself and your West Coast Swing career?
I'd love to. Well, easy. I've been dancing for about 20 years now, and I started with Lindy Hop, as you can tell with my name on Discord. Lindy is still my first love. And then I've been really active in West Coast Swing since, I want to say, 15 years now. I got lucky to be one of the first teachers in France, Europe, and mostly because of Maxence and all of my good friends already really involved in that as well. And then I got to travel because I had a family that let me do whatever I wanted. So it was easier for me to be part of that community. And since then, I've never left.
Well, we're happy about that. What have you been doing in the past, let's say, 1.5 years almost since the COVID outbreak?
Well, I've learned how to cook.
Important skill in life.
I mean, that was one of my things, that my New Year's resolution, for 2020. And then 2 months after, then we got COVID and everything shut down. So I had a lot of free time to learn how to cook better and then develop some skills. So I mainly done that. And then also I have other hobbies and passions in life. It's just not traveling and dance are the main one, don't get me wrong. But I also really love decoration, design, interior design. So I got a little bit more involved in that and kind of keeping my spirits up and having something that drives me in life.
Oh, wow. That sounds really cool. Interior design. Mm-hmm. Sounds interesting.
It's fun.
Emmeline, do you want to go next?
I can if you want.
I would love that.
Sure. Well. So about my career, I think it's been like 12 or 13 years now in the West Coast swing scene. I feel like I stopped at 10 and then I got stuck in my mind. But yeah, I think it's like 12 or 13. And before that, I started with ballroom dancing, I think, or like solo Latin dances. And it's when I moved to France from Réunion Island that I wanted to start a new dance form. And I bumped into an article about West Coast Swing. I loved it. There were like videos of Jordan and Todd. And I went to that first West Coast Swing initiation in Montpellier. And that's actually where I met Estelle. Yeah, for the first time. But she was like an amazing dancer and I was amazed. I didn't understand how she could do everything she was doing at that time. And then I got really heavy in the West Coast Swing. I got crazy about it. And I started to teach. And then I was teaching so much that I could not keep my regular job aside. And I started the partnership with Yacoub that really pushed me into that. And here I am traveling the world and doing it 100% of my time. I mean, not true, but let's say.
Not these days.
Not these days, no.
Yeah, well, but it's getting there, right? I saw that you had a few workshops here and there now.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm super excited about the events starting again. I was in Sardinia for the first West Coast Swing. It was a small camp. Just with cool. That was amazing, with like just 60 dancers from Paris mostly, and we were the only one in the hotel. It was like a hotel who is supposed to host about 300 people, and we had the hotel for ourselves. Yeah, It was just us.
That's cool.
So yeah, very privileged. It felt great to finally teach in front of people.
Wow, that's amazing. Alyssa, wait, beforehand, Emmeline, do you want to tell about your last year and a half?
Well,
what you've been doing before you got back to teaching?
I took care of living beings. I finally have plans. I always wanted to have plans, so I could have plans. And also like getting to know my city, because I've been living in Berlin since maybe 3 years now. Yeah, 3 or 4 years. But because we're traveling so much, we never really get to be there. So it was good to invest in my home and my friends, and also starting new hobbies like yoga or bouldering. I didn't start to cook. I didn't.
So you've been doing a lot of acro yoga, right?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah, you posted cool pictures with Yacoub.
Yeah. It was challenging though, but we had fun doing it.
If anyone has missed that, please check out Em's profile on Facebook. She has such cool pictures there.
Thank you. I mean, it's Andrew's job too. He's a great photographer.
Okay, Alyssa, do you want to talk now? Do you want to say something about your career and about your last year?
It was for me. Repeat one more time.
I can barely hear you. Can you repeat?
I am in a look. I asked the same question that you're asking other people. And can you hear me okay?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm going to stay here then. I'm out on a walk. It's a nice day outside. I can't just
okay.
sit still. Yeah, so my West Coast swing career. Let's see. I also started in Lindy Hop like Estelle. And there's a bus passing. Sorry if there's noise. But before that, I actually started in folk dancing when I was 5. And I did that kind of irregularly because it was just a thing that like a bunch of homeschool families did. But started with that, and then Lindy Hop when I was about 8, and then ballroom dance, like really kind of shitty cotillion style ballroom dancing. So it was just like, here's the basic. But it was my introduction to West Coast. That's where I first saw Sean McKeever dancing West Coast swing, and he had like the Benji highlight hair that was also like straightened in the front. It was great.
How old were you then?
I think I was about 16, and he's I think 2 years older than me. Yeah. But he was like super into West Coast, and he was on Benji and Heidi's team. I think their team routine for juniors. And I remember finding my first West Coast video, and it was Benji and Heidi in the pink routine, in the pink costume. And I remember finding it on Sean's MySpace profile. And I was like, what is that?
Wow, MySpace.
Yeah.
Do you still use that, by the way? People still use that now? I think the company got bankrupt, right? Probably.
Yeah. I actually think it still exists, but I'm pretty sure Tom, the guy who created it, is gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't like Zuckerberg.
No, probably not. Yeah, I remember seeing that and being like, oh, that is cool. I like that. I would like to do that. And so I went to my first event. It was Boogie by the Bay in 2008. And they also had Lindy Hop there, but I mostly spent the whole weekend in the West Coast room and was just hooked. And so I think I became partners with Connor Goodmanson, and we did juniors for a year when I was 17. And then when I was 19, I became partners with John, and we started traveling around together. And that's kind of how I met all of these wonderful folks. And yeah, the rest is kind of history. Like I got super addicted in the best of ways, and getting to travel around and have travel and teaching be my job was not even a job. It's a dream.
Yeah, wow. That's like, I can definitely understand that. It's amazing. It's everyone's dream, right? To go follow their passion and find that thing that they want to do.
Right.
And what have you been doing in the past 1.5 years?
Let's see. I do a lot of things. So for the first couple months of COVID, it was mostly just like a lot of dancing. Basically every day was some kind of dancing, and I was painting. I had a lot more free time then, and cooking and baking a lot. That's definitely a thing that I picked up more during COVID, just because I had time to do it. And it's really satisfying to make something out of nothing. And so yeah, that's during the first couple months was that. And then I decided like, oh, I should be working and doing things. So I got my personal training certification and started doing my own independent work there. And then I got a full-time job at a really, really bougie gym in the Bay Area. And so I went from having a lot of time to having very little time. So it's been a little crazy, but it's definitely satisfying to still be able to work with people's bodies and kind of improving their movement, their range of motion. And it's been really awesome to continue learning and growing that knowledge base.
That's really cool. That's very cool. I'm having a signal here from Justin. Justin, do you want to take it from here now?
Yeah, the only way we can get Victoria into this Q&A, and I know we had a lot of people going, where's Victoria? Is she's actually stuck in another part of the server. So Topi can't hear me. So I'm just going to put him back into this thing. We're having some Topi. When you're ready, can we start moving everyone over to general chat where Victoria is currently residing? So everyone, don't worry. We're going to let Topi and I do it, or I'll let Topi do it one by one. So all of you are going to start moving. Do not panic, okay? So... Topi, start going ahead. Don't panic. And everyone listen on Facebook. We're just doing some stuff, all right?
Later that same evening.
Right.
Everyone should be here.
Yeah, and Victoria, can you hear us? That's the main thing. And can you hear everyone else?
Yes, I can now hear everyone. I don't know what happened. Thank you so much for switching rooms for me.
That's all right. Yuval, last technology for you. Yuval, carry on. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Well, that was an interesting one for sure. So, Victoria, good to finally have you here on voice.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Well, to be here and heard, I guess, or to be here and hear.
So, can you do a small introduction and tell everyone about yourself?
Yeah, I am Victoria Henk. My name is Victoria Sky on this Discord chat because somehow someone has Victoria Henk as a name already.
Really?
Yeah, well, I wasn't expecting that, but okay. The one thing with this Discord thing is I can't hear anyone else, so I can't tell if Alyssa or Emma or Estelle are rolling their eyes at me. So
I'm looking at you, that's for sure.
We are.
Now you know.
We love you.
Perfect. Well, I've been dancing my entire life. I started in ballet and jazz and hip hop since the age of 4. I happened into the Schwimmer's dance studio when I was 8 or 9 years old, and was just. I had enough training in something else that Buddy, who is Benji Schwimmer's dad, just put me on one of the swing teams, and I started doing that. Didn't really know too much about it. I thought a sugar push I didn't know it was the basic of a dance. I thought it was a choreographed move, just a hand flick or something. And then I think at the age of 14 or 15, my mom took me to Atomic Ballroom, which is where Ben Morris dances and everything like that. And I realized, this is it's a community. It's a competitive culture. You can do a lot with this dance, and start socializing and social dancing. And from there, I've kind of traveled quite a bit and taught quite a bit.
And then you partnered with Ben and...
it wasn't really my intention to start dancing full time. I was in college, so I was pursuing.
What did you study?
Political science. I was pre-law, so it was a bit intense, traveling. 40 weekends a year, and then immediately flight, and you drive back to school and you take an exam. So a lot of reading on airplanes, a lot of studying, and wherever I could find places. I didn't sleep for a very long time. But now during quarantine, I make up for it.
Okay, Victoria, we have our first question coming in for you.
Okay.
But you can start with it. This is the general one, actually. The one coming for you is later.
Okay.
We have one for everyone here, but you can start answering it. It goes like this. I've been asking myself while practicing during the lockdown, am I objectively accessing my personal growth skill level in West Coast swing? Seems much more challenging without the usual feedback from the comps and socials at events. Have you asked yourself a similar question, and how would you do it?
Yeah.
Coming from Daniel Pavlov from Russia.
Hi Daniel. I actually think in regards, anyone who's trying to move up in West Coast swing, that the quarantine has been, amongst other, horrific or terrible instances, it's actually been quite a blessing for anyone who wants to take the time to become extremely authentic in their art form. A lot of the times we can't help but be inspired by other people. We can't help but take on things, no matter if we like it or we don't. It's a color that we see, and then it just automatically starts painting into our murals and our art. And I think if you have had the time to be by yourself and to work on yourself for you, you come back into West Coast Swing much stronger. You come back with a real authentic sense of self, and you come back with a understanding of why you do what you do in swing versus why you would triple hair because, oh, such and such judge told you should, or this is whatever it is. This way you can, if you want to bend a knee here or you want to move something this way, that's on you. You're a disruptive innovation right now. You should absolutely keep doing that. So it's probably scary to think that you might be growing in a way that might not be great for West Coast swing. But no one knows what it's going to look like when we come back, and it's all going to have changed. And as long as you are true to yourself when you're dancing, I think that's the best possible outcome.
Oh, wow. That was a big one. Wow.
I might
Amen
add on
to
to that a little bit.
that.
Because, like, I 100% yes, and I do think it can affect your West Coast swing in a really positive way. Because when you start to really access your authentic self, whatever that is, we're all different. But once you start to access that, everything else in swing kind of feels more full and real in your body. And so even doing like self-work outside of the dance, you can bring that into your dance, and it can really change how you move.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%.
Sorry, I'm like out of breath from walking up hills.
You sprinted. Don't lie. You sprinted.
I thought you were a personal trainer, Alyssa. I thought you should be super fit.
Let me show you a photo of my hill, man, then you'll know.
Yeah, I imagine you doing boulder climbing up to your home.
Oh,
That's
God.
San Francisco to you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Estelle, do you want to go next on this question?
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be honest, I never really thought about what's gonna change for me. I might be in total denial, of what's gonna be for me. Like the way I dance West Coast Swing, I don't think I've grown or changed, and I feel like the next day I'm gonna come back to a dance floor is gonna be the exact same, but I'm probably wrong. I mean, honestly, I know that it's. I agree that it's beneficial that everybody had, a break and thought about what's next for them, and I agree. I totally get that being influenced by other people or someone say that or somebody told you that you should be that way. Now you have that right to, take your dance to your next level. So I like that freedom that now we can just go back and be ourselves. So I think that's great to think that way, and I invite everybody to think about that. I think that's a good idea. Definitely, I like that world of authenticity, because that's before COVID that I was already trying to teach my students, especially in a competition setting. When they were like, I don't understand why I'm not making finals. I don't understand what the judges are looking for. And the usual answer that I give them is, well, just remember what is the character you want to put on the dance floor. What do you want people to see from you and actually who you are as a person? I know, for example, for me, I care about people. I really love my family, my friends, and, I care about that specifically. And when I'm on a dance floor, I want my leader to feel like I'm going to take care of the situation and I'm always there for them, So that's part of my character. And I try to make sure it's coherent. Like what I do on the dance floor shows that. So I try and tell people, think about who you are as a person. So now that you cannot dance during COVID, then maybe personal growth and try and think of who you are, what you want people to see, and then try and develop some skills, style, like anything that can make sure you can develop that more in the dance floor. This is not just about the technique. This is not just about the, a stretch. I mean, it's definitely part of the West Coast swing, don't get me wrong, but it's also like who you are as a person. And if I have to judge you, I don't have to like the character. It's not about do I like that character. It's about that I see something in front of my eyes and that you're creating a story with your partner. So yeah, that will be my advice. Like if you have time, think about who you are as a person. That will help your dancing and your heart in general.
Wow. Like value bombs one after the other. Thank you so much. And I love the part of creating a story with your partner. That's like, that's a big one, right? That's the chemistry that we're looking for.
Yeah, I think it's unique, and I know that people get frustrated, when you have a good dance. I don't know if that happened to you before, but you have an amazing dance and it's 3 a.m. and you're probably slightly drunk and it's great. And then the next guy or follow that you invite is not the same and you try to recreate that moment, you'll never succeed. Think about every dance as a new story all the time and you'll be actually happy with everything.
Yeah, there are just some dances where afterwards you're like, no, the next one it can't be that amazing. But sometimes it is, and you're like, yes!
Exactly. Just be yourself and let go, and you have fun.
Yeah, exactly. Emmeline, do you want to add on that?
I mean, I loved the answers that the girl said. I loved the ideas behind it. I would say that actually I've been influenced a lot during that break, as Alyssa said, a bit about other fields. So the fact that I was practicing different body work, even like also working on yourself, like self-development and everything. But if you do like yoga, climbing, like different activities, I feel like it's changing your relationship to your own body and to your own movement. And I was very curious to know which impact this would have on my dancing. And I love like the influence of all of that on your movement. And also because everyone was kind of like stuck home, I feel like the access to other dance forms was huge. So if you were checking like social media, Instagram and everything, now it's like full of like dancing videos and it's so inspiring. It's so freaking inspiring.
Especially TikTok,
so I guess,
right?
Yeah, I don't use TikTok actually, not on that, but
Really?
I guess. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
you should. There
no.
are such cool hip hop videos there.
I guess, but I feel like I'm already overwhelmed with like the amount of content everywhere. But to watch all this, to be exposed to all those amazing artists, it definitely also influenced what I'm doing with my movement at the moment. And I found it great. Like I found it amazing that you can become like this kind of chameleon, of like movement. I've always been more encouraging this side, like to not really be locked in boxes or in certain ways of dancing because you think that this is what people expect from you, whether it's from like the competition setting or, judges, teachers. So I would say it's actually positive that we had such a break from judgment on your own dancing. Yeah, I guess that's my answer to that.
No, that's cool. And I think you and Jakub, you are definitely one of the couples that are pushing the envelope now and giving everyone, like inspiring everyone to be more creative and to try new stuff. And I can't thank you enough for that, really.
I mean, thank like you for like watching what we're doing. Like we're really happy to be able to contribute to maybe keep the dancing a bit, like I don't know whether it's like alive or something like that. But it's for also our own sake. Like we need it to dance. Find a way to express outside of the community.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's amazing. It really helps. So we have our next question now. A question for Victoria, personally. So it goes like this. Gabor says, Victoria, you're my favorite pro. And I was so sad when I heard last year that you are stepping back from the scene or planning to compete less. So he wants to ask, what are your plans for the future and how often will we be able to see you in Jack and Jill competitions?
Well, first, I thank you, Gabor, for that compliment. I highly suggest you watch the other ladies on this panel before you make such a.
Stop! You're amazing.
I think I've kind of been ingrained in the dance for such a long time, without really the space to kind of figure out things for myself or kind of pursue anything else. I've been dancing for a very long time. So I don't know. It's a difficult question to answer because for every day there's a different answer. Today I want to pursue education more. Today I want to pursue business more. Today I want to pursue dance more. A lot of things kind of ignite a passion for me. I love a lot of different things. I never intended with my, huge announcement that I'm leaving. That was just purely for, event directors and promoters and whatnot. I never intended to leave West Coast Swing as a community for a lengthy period of time or for forever.
Thank God.
No, the bonds and the friendships that are made in West Coast Swing can never be replaced, and they're not something you find in normal everyday life. Nor is the freedom that you get with the dance and just how fun it is, right? You get intellectual stimulation, artistic stimulation, physical, like it encompasses everything. You won't find this anywhere else. So yes, I'll be back. I just want some time to explore other avenues and read a few more books.
Do you want to tell a bit about the things that you are thinking to do and stuff? Or, feel free to to stop me at some point and say you don't want to go deeper into it.
No, for me, I've always just wanted to pursue higher education, and it was very difficult finishing just college while traveling, as I know a few people can attest to. For me, I've always wanted an MBA or a master's in psych. I've wanted a PhD, and I just don't think it's feasible.
Yeah.
While maintaining a healthy body.
No, I can understand that.
So the timing of the pandemic was pretty interesting for me to kind of get the chance to pursue those other things. But the longer we are away from it, the more I of course I miss dancing. I love it. I dance all the time in anything that I do.
You dance at home, you dance in classes.
I do. Actually, Alyssa and I will be in line at the grocery store and we'll be like dancing around.
She's always dancing and we're just always breaking it down, oftentimes to no music.
There's music everywhere. It's
there's rhythm everywhere.
Alyssa, I bet you're dancing on the street while walking now, right?
I have now made it inside. It is also quite warm outside, and my service kept getting a little shoddy. So I'm now inside, but I am dancing in my living room.
Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. It's great, and it's it just means you're super passionate about it, and to me, it's inspiring. Really.
Well, thank you. I'm glad that it is that. I hope that when I come back to West Coast Swing, like Emmeline was saying, that I will have been more inspired by other activities I've taken up, right? Like boxing or like lifting different types of weights or like the yoga.
Boxing?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Wow, cool. Have you done boxing? That's cool.
I definitely watched Tomb Raider as a video game too many times, played it too many times, and was like, yeah, I can do that. But I'll be curious how the break and how just other activities that I've taken up will kind of influence my dancing if and when I come back. So can't give a more descriptive answer than that, I think, for the moment.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
Mm.
I want to say hello to Davi from Argentina and Badir from Saudi Arabia watching us now. Wow, that's so cool. We're so international today. Thank you so much, guys. Our next question is going to be from Topi, and he wants to ask it in his own voice. So, Topi, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. My question is related to today. There was the match in Finland versus Denmark in soccer. For those people who don't watch soccer,
Thank you for using the right term.
Yeah, and there was an accident that one of the players just collapsed.
Oh.
And like the match has been now suspended. And regarding that, and like we didn't plan to have a social today after the Q&A, but I'm feeling like I could use one. So if people are willing to stay social and hang out after the Q&A, we'll have one today as well. We'll be talking about that, but hopefully also more mind-lifting moments. But I'm curious about that popped to my mind, if there's like these emotional moments in your life that have like made you maybe stop or made you and maybe change the way you either see the life or the dancing. And if that's a too hardball for you or you need more time, you can also answer. I'm curious when Emmeline asked about or say that there's so much content. What are your favorite ways to watch and see different dancing content? What's your like go-to places to do that as a more short one?
I'll take the hard one.
Yeah, go ahead, Alyssa.
This seems fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Yeah, I think that question is interesting right now because I think I can't speak for everyone else that are professionals in this career, but for me as an artist and having that be my job, like this year, honestly, has been the thing that has kind of thrown me. And I've had to deal with honestly, a lot of like career loss grief. And I've not had to deal with a lot of grief in my life. And like, I haven't really had a lot of close to me pass away. I really haven't had to deal with that. And so it's definitely like forced me to take several steps back and just be sad and let myself be sad and feel that emotion. And like, it definitely comes out in my dancing sometimes. And it's not an emotion people often see from me because my baseline state is like pretty happy.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's definitely been something that has not necessarily kept coming back, but like whenever you get a little nostalgic, you go back and watch videos, you watch old competition dances. For me, I had so much of my identity was wrapped in who I was as a dancer. Like that was what I was. I was a dancer. And I like even catching me saying that now, I'm saying I was a dancer, not that I am a dancer. And it's been a hard year of letting myself actually feel grief and sad and loss of what was in the community. And I know it will come back, and I'm thrilled about that. It's going to come back a little different, and in some ways I hope a lot different. But yeah, that has been definitely one of the moments for me. And I would say this is like the standout moment in my dance journey so far. That has probably been the hardest.
Yeah, I can definitely imagine that. That's like, it has been a big one for everyone, and like for sure for you guys who are doing it professionally and for so long, and practically your whole world. It's yeah. Wow.
I think one of the hardest parts, and sorry, I'm totally being such a downer right now. So even now, I'm not comfortable being like sad.
It's okay. It's okay. You know, it's
sorry.
it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. I'm saying it's like we're being like authentic here, and we're saying what we're feeling, and we're feeling what we're saying. So it's all good.
Yeah. I think
Thank
like
you.
for me, probably the beginning of March, like the middle of March into April, like waking up every morning and seeing another event canceled, and just seeing like the year that was going to be great and turn out to be like literally the exact opposite of great. It was a time, but like we dust ourselves off and we kind of trudge on forward and move through the sadness without trying to like diminish it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like even now when we're hoping, okay, something will start, and it's like it's not going yet. It's It's not an easy period for sure.
Yeah.
Who wants to go next?
Can go.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, since we're being very honest here, I want to say that I'm dead inside, so I don't have emotions.
Oh no! Don't.
No, I'm kidding. Well,
Okay.
the only challenge for me, if we're talking about emotions, was probably the fact that I love the community because I care about people, and it was easier when we had events and we could meet with other people, and it's hard for me to show that I care and then to make a difference and try and help. So without the events, without talking to people directly, it's a lot more challenging. So my purpose, I want to say quote unquote, purpose in the community is to really try and help, and I feel kind of stuck right now. So that has been quite challenging for me. But in 20 years of dancing, I stopped dancing for a year once when I turned 19. For stupid reasons, really stupid reasons. I was really involved in association that I don't know if Emmeline remembers, but it was called Mad Swingers at that time. It was like Lindsay, you remember? So we had people there, not many names because it's not the purpose here, but I was really involved and I was teaching with Maxence at that time. And then Maxence moved to the States, and then I had to take over and teach with somebody else. But that person had other plans, and I was really young, and I was like not really an accomplished, teacher or anything. It was just something I was doing for free and for fun. So I didn't care that much, but thing got really ugly for nothing, and I didn't want to defend myself. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna quit, and I stopped for a year. And I missed it so much. But I was in school and I was doing other things and I was okay. And at that time, I haven't realized that dancing was actually so part of my DNA, and it was actually the thing that I wanted to do. But I never really choose. Less likely like Victoria, I don't think you choose to be a professional in that community, that it happens or not. Or at that time, back in the days, people were like offering you a job, so you will not apply for teaching somewhere. They will call you or not. And so at that time, I was like, I'm fine. I'm just not gonna do it. And then after a year of not dancing at all, people start calling me again, and I start just dancing for myself. And then I became like a more involved and a better teacher by doing it. But emotionally, that was a good time for me, and it was probably the hardest time, is to completely stop out of me being stupid and not trying to fix the issue. Being 19 at that time, I didn't want to fix it. I was like, you know what, fuck you, sorry. So I decided to just stop.
It's okay. Andi just got banned from YouTube.
Sorry. But in French doesn't mean anything, so that's why.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No worries.
So yeah, that was probably emotionally the only challenge that I really that was like kind of a weird thing with West Coast Swing for me. After that, everything was pretty easy, and I have that mindset probably because of my parents of you do whatever makes you happy. So I never forced myself to do anything, and I'm fairly lucky that I started young enough and at an early stage in Europe where it was a lot easier than it is right now to actually teach, travel, and do something. So I always had that freedom of I'll do whatever I like, and that's pretty amazing. So yeah, that's my emotional challenges that I had with West Coast Swing. That's the two stories that I have. That one when I was 19, and then right now feeling like I cannot really help more and show that I care. So that's just that. In 20 years, I think that's pretty easy.
I don't know. I don't judge, but I want to say that it's great that you managed, even though you had a really bad experience, that you managed to understand that dancing is not what caused that experience, and that dancing is actually what you want, and you managed to get back to it. And lucky us that you did. I mean, that's great. Really?
Well, like I said, it's because people came to me, and because I was at the right place at the right moment, but I came back into it because people called me and they were like, "We want you to be more involved. We want you here. We want you there." And then having friends and then building more friendship and getting to know people a little by little, you know. And I didn't wake up one morning being like, "I want it back." It just happened, you know. So it's what it is, you know. I don't know if the other ladies feel the same as me, but it's definitely because that community exists and they want to, whether like getting to know you, learn from you, want to know something about you and want to help their own community, that they talk to you. Without the rest of the community, we are nothing, just dancers, you know. And that's great, don't get me wrong, that's a good start and we're happy with that. But like, it's not, you don't decide just for yourself like I want to be that. It just happened because you're amongst other people and in a community that, you know, communicates, and that's what I think it's magical about West Coast Swing, and that's why I keep doing it.
Definitely. Oh, thank you so much for that. Yeah, 100% everything you said. Wow, thank you so much.
Of course,
Who wants to go? Always.
I can try.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can try. So about like the emotional struggle, I would say, I guess everyone is like full of contradictions, and I have these two opposite sides and needs. Like there is a part of me that really struggle with exposure and expectations on me, and having a schedule, and there's a big part of me that is like that, and there is this other side of me that it's like I'm a mad artist, and it's like my mind keeps just thinking about creating stuff and making stuff out of scratch or something like that. And when you want to share art, you kind of want an impact and get a response. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm constantly going through those cycles where my mind wants to create, like right now, it's buzzing. And so I want the connection with others, and I want to share, and I want an answer and replies. But then when you get really heavy on the community and like traveling and teach all the time, you have this constant exposure. Mm-hmm. It's like you're watched, you know, all the time. Mm-hmm. So when you're going through your personal emotions and stories, you have to pretend in front of the crowd because like people don't necessarily want to see it. As let's say, not like public figures or like staff or teachers, like you want to spread joy and you want to spread inspiration, mm-hmm. but you're not always in that mood. So this gets hard when it's like that, because it's getting very hard to pretend and put a face and be there. So this is my emotional struggle, is when I want actually to step back and have my own time, have like no one mm-hmm. watching or expecting anything. I would say that.
May I ask, how do you manage to do that? Like, how do you deal with those situations?
I usually step back actually, as much as I can. So I would of course still like go to event because it's still our profession. And but for instance, if I feel like I need to stop social dancing, if I feel like I need to really like chill during demos, or I'm really trying to listening to what my body and my mind is telling me on the moment. And sometimes it's hard because you feel guilty or you feel like you have to or you should. But I'm really trying to step back from the should and what I actually need. And I feel like this break actually with COVID even reinforced that even more. Or even like talk to friends, be surrounded by good friends, having support. This is really important. And also sometimes just stopping pretending, even if like you should. I guess that's my answer to that.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you so much for that. 100% with Alyssa, big heart. Victoria, do you want to share?
Yeah, I don't have an answer as full as the others, nor is it really thought out or put together as well. I think they've all kind of spoken as to exactly what the quarantine made us rethink and kind of feel. I know that for me, I had something that to me was very traumatic that I never quite was able to work through, and I kind of numbed out my emotions. So anytime I was performing, I was digging up whatever I kind of thought that people wanted to see. And when you dance, you can't do that. You can't think through it, right? You have to feel it. And it was very untrue to myself. So I think this quarantine, it's shown me that I am not one of those people that wants to dance for other people. Like Estelle said, dance is just so ingrained. Actually, I think she was saying that based off of what I had said. So we'll just go back and forth. But dance is just so ingrained in my body that it really, when I do it, it's for me. So I'm on having the time to work through my own experiences by listening and holding space for other people who are going through this time of intense grief. I've also realized what actually matters to me in the space of dancing. And I mean, this goes back to my first answer, but I think if I would come back, or whichever events I have booked still, it's the competitive aspect of the dance, the doing something for a placement or for this reason or this reason. It's kind of all gone out the window. And I think we would have much more intimate dances. Just for me as an artist, it's kind of really repainted why I do what I do. And I think having that reason, that why, matters more than anything else in dance and in life in general, I guess. But emotionally, it's forced me to reconsider just about everything that I thought I knew, that I didn't know that I didn't know. And it allows me to really do what I love for myself. And that is very fueling.
Oh, that's the most important thing, right? That's what we want.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, with quarantine, I've been allowed to be a bit more selfish, kind of have my own space, be more introverted. And it's a new feeling, and it's it's okay. It's good to have that, and it's good to step into that role sometimes. So it's good. I can be selfish when I dance for myself, and then maybe people watch it and like it.
I'm sure I would like it if you dance selfish on the dance floor as well, where everyone would love it. Really.
Yeah, and then selfishly, I just want to see.
As long as you're not too selfish for your leader, but I'm sure you would not do that.
I think emotionally, for me, actually, what's been hardest is knowing that I have very close friends who love this dance so much, and it is so part of their DNA and is so part of everything that they have to do, that watching them not get the space to do that and to get, the admiration that they deserve and they might need in these moments is very difficult. And just kind of, you can only be a cheerleader so much when you know what they need is not necessarily everything you can give. So I'm hoping that events come back so much sooner than they can, so that I can watch all of my friends dance again, and I can be inspired and just be happy to see them in their happy zone. So.
Oh, that's the opposite of selfish, what you said right there. Oh, Victoria, thank you so much for that.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing. Our next question is actually a much lighter one, and it goes like this. After so many years in the scene, do you still have friends outside of the West Coast swing world, and even non-dancer friends? Who wants to start
Can
with
go
that?
first. I can go first. I have a very easy answer. In school, I never had friends until I actually got to the dance community. And when you're a teenager, so I was 13, my friends were dancers. So I grew up as a person through dancing. So my friends were only dancers. I have 2 friends that I was in very young age in school with, and I'm still in contact with. So those are close friends because they know me from a very young age. But my real friends, everybody that I, talk to and enjoy being around or confide in and trust, are only dancers. Kind of sad, but also beautiful. I love them. So, I don't need more people. So they're just dancers, all of them.
I see. Okay. Who wants next? Alyssa, do you want to go?
Sure. I have friends.
Yeah, you have friends.
We're all on this call. No, I have other friends too, kind of. Yeah, so it's interesting because I was homeschooled my whole life and then went to college, so I never had the stereotypical high school friend group. Because I was friends with my entire high school grade, but it was just me, so I was kind of lonely. So I every job that I've had that has not been a dance job, I've made friends in. That's not usually a hard thing for me, but it's more of maintenance of those friendships, just because there's definitely some people that I met in the coffee shop I worked at long time ago. There's one person that we still talk, and she's wonderful. Not a dancer at all.
And you just met her in a coffee shop, or with your colleague?
We worked together in the coffee shop.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was when I was in my late teens. And we still keep in touch.
I thought she was just a customer, and you just made friends with a customer, a random customer.
No, I don't talk to customers.
I thought it's in the US, the service is always amazing, right? It's like a religion there.
I'm kidding. I do, but no, it's more of the people that you kind of see every day on accident.
Yeah, no.
Often the people that end up being your buddies, just because they see you through a lot of shit. But I definitely have some people that throughout my different jobs that aren't dance that I'm still kind of in touch with. It's a bit hard just to maintain when you're gone all the time.
Yeah, for sure.
The ones that are understanding are great. The ones that are like, why are you never here? I'm like, great, we're not going to be friends then. That's not going to work out.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple of like very close friends in the Bay Area that like were dancers but aren't anymore, or like one of my best friends was a professional ballerina, and I met her through other dancers, but she doesn't really do West Coast. So there's definitely people in my world that aren't dancers or were, so they have the understanding of it and kind of understand the lifestyle, which I think is really important when you have relationships with people who aren't dancers.
For sure. Wow. And it's like you touched on a very big point here, because you are all traveling professionals. I mean, where there's no COVID around, it's probably hard to keep those friendly relationships, those friendships locally.
Yeah, it ends up every friendship you have will end up being a long distance friendship.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I mean, when I moved out of Israel, it's now like that with all my friends from there. We've been friends for like 15, 20 years maybe. And then now it's a long distance friendship. It's harder to keep it alive.
Oh yeah, and I say like even the people that I lived with, like even my roommates, it's still a long distance friendship because of how often I would be gone.
Yeah, wow, it's funny to think about it, but yeah, in your case, yes.
Yeah.
Emmeline, how about you?
Well, it's funny you asked that question because I was just having a coffee this afternoon with a childhood friend, because I'm in Radiant Island right now, so it's where I'm from.
Ah, nice. How's the weather there?
Well, like right now it's winter, but it's island winter, so it's still 24 degrees Celsius. So I would not complain, but we haven't seen each other like for 15 years, so it was really great to catch up. Yeah. And I feel like because I'm from this island, and it's a small island, like still like 1 million people, but still, I grew up with like so many like friends, and we've been spending like 15 years together. So I feel I always have space in myself for them, and even if because I'm traveling all the time, and it's indeed long distance relationship, we never lose a bond. And I guess it's because we also coming from such a heavy, in a positive way, identity and history, and the surrounding, like our culture and our tradition and our language, that I feel like I would never lose them, even if we don't talk for years. So I do have friends outside of the community, and it's mostly friends from my island that I love to see from time to time or catch up with. And during the pandemic, actually, I made also friends outside of the dance community through, I don't know, activities or, just coincidences. Not a lot, but just a few is definitely enough. So yeah, I would say that.
Oh, that's so cool. How often do you visit Réunion?
At least once a year, for sure. And actually, with the pandemic, I had the opportunity to visit more than this. So I would come, every 4 or 5 months.
Oh, that's really cool. That's really great. I love your
really
pictures from there, by the way. Looks like an amazing place.
It is an amazing place, and I would recommend anyone to come and discover.
Maybe
Next time I'm going with you.
Oh yeah, anytime, girl. Anytime.
I want to go. Yeah, that's a
Maybe
date.
you can do an event there one day.
Actually, we were in Sardinia. We were talking about it with Virginie Escaravage. I don't know if you know her from Paris. It's one of my really good friends, and because she loves that idea about doing West Coast Swing vacations, like a small group, and we get to visit and have some free time. We are thinking about doing it next in Radiant Island, so could be possible. And also because Virginie Grandin is also from here. We have this in common, so...
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited about the idea.
Wow, that would be awesome. I'm super looking forward to that.
Keep posted.
Yeah, definitely keep us posted. Victoria, how about you? Do you have any non-dancer friends?
I do. It always surprises me that I do. I think it's mostly just people that have almost adopted me, kind of saw me often enough and decided, yeah, you'll do. You can be in my circle. They are, if they're not in West Coast Swing, which obviously my strongest connections and bonds are in West Coast Swing. And if I manage to keep them up during the quarantine, then they are even stronger and they'll never fade. But the friendships that I've maintained outside of swing are people that, again, understand the lifestyle or understand what dancing is. It can be, without that understanding, it can feel a little bit more superficial. Not that you can't connect on other matters or the same depth, but there's a part of you that kind of that friend will never truly understand. So it can be difficult, but yeah, none of them are very close. So the same way that all my friends in West Coast Swing are long distance, all my non-West Coast Swing dancer friends are also long distance. But I have my puppies and my dogs, so I'm good.
How many dogs do you have?
Oh, well, my dog just had puppies, so there's now 5.
Cool.
No, it's a lot.
Congratulations.
It's a bit excessive.
It's like you can't count them because there are so many.
Well, yeah, and they're always getting into trouble. So,
like,
yeah.
What's this movie called? 101 Dalmatians?
Oh, yeah, it's not quite up to that level yet.
And they're not Dalmatian, I guess, right?
No, they're Pomeranians. So, about the same size as the puppies. Yeah.
Wow, that's a beautiful dog.
Yeah, they're very beautiful. They're very noisy too.
And about what you said about your friends, I can totally get it. Like, if they don't understand the dance world and they don't connect to it in a way, something will be missing.
Yeah, and it's not for lack of trying. It's not for lack of depth. It's just that part of you. I don't know. You can explain it pretty well, but I'm not necessarily the best at explaining what we do. So that could be my fault. But yeah, the connections are...
I don't think so. I think so far you're explaining everything so well. I don't think that's the problem.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I'm very grateful for all the friends that I've managed to keep during this worldwide pandemic.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for these great answers. Justin, I think it's time for a break, right?
Yeah, I think we're sitting at about just over an hour. So, Andreas, turn on that elevator music for YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and we'll see you in about 2 minutes' time. The porch, build a bitch for our resident fan, Chris Keller. He's an absolutely huge fan of all the TikTok dances. Chris has personally requested to say that if you want to learn any TikTok dances with him, he'll teach you at the event as well. So that's really good of Chris to do that for us. So look him up and he'll teach you all the TikTok dances. That's Chris Keller, a huge fan. He even requested that song to me. Okay, we're going to sort of change gear a little bit and move into something else that I want to talk about. And I'm just setting up now. I think she's coming into the room. Annika is obviously the girlfriend of Chuck, and we know Chuck's in fairly ill health. I believe Annika's in the serve now. Annika, I'm going to hand it over to you. Do you want to discuss what's going on with Chuck and tell us the situation?
Yeah, so hi everybody. I'm Annika. Some of you may know me and some may not. So I'm from Finland. And Justin offered me this small time to talk about Chuck. So can I start?
Go for it. Yeah, it's all yours.
Yeah. Thanks. So I prepared a little speech-ish thingy. So for starters, I'm gonna quote this man whose one of the favorite saying is, dance is what brings us together. Community is what makes us stay. And some of you may have heard this from Chuck's mouth from time to time. He might have said in some events somewhere around the world as he's traveled so much. So now he's in need of this community. And he has been suffering from several tooth loss over the years, but now the situation has gone even worse. Just this week, he had 6 teeth taken out because of infection in the gum area, and he's quite a lot in pain and suffering right now because it's hard for him to eat and anything that he would enjoy to say. And some people that know him the closest might know that he's gonna hate me for telling this stuff, but he's kind of ashamed to be in public right now, ashamed to smile, and there's like constant pain in his mouth, in his jaw area, several gum infections, etc. And it's kind of hard for me to talk about this, but I'm gonna keep on trying. As our dance industry has been suffering from this pandemic, also his finances haven't been that well lately. And of course, he has to make his living out of this until we can go into dance events again and so on. And he has to be using all his savings basically to everyday life right now. So he has tried to save money for the procedure, but it's really expensive to do. And there's like several different countries you could do that in, but it would mostly be safe to do in a country where he knows people, he knows the medical care is adequate and proper. So it's going to be a big procedure that he needs, and it's called All on 4. So he needs that for both upper and lower jaw. And yeah, this is like my, I don't know if it's a cry for help, but I'm like giving this message to all of you listening, and hopefully you hear me out when trying to find
It's
words
okay.
right
It's
now.
okay, Annika. I can understand it's difficult to chat.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking time to come on. I think it's
Yeah.
quite a difficult situation to talk about. We're posting a link in the chat right now to a link to help
Thank you.
Chuck. There's 2 addresses. The first one is one we've created. It's www.djwcs.com/Chuck. Or that takes you to this address, which is the gofundme.com/Chuck-needs-hour-help. Judging from my reading, I think the procedure is very expensive, something in the excess of $40,000. I'm not asking anyone to donate $40,000, but if you can donate a coffee that you'd usually buy, instead of buying that, donate something to Chuck. I think Annika and I think Andreas and I think Yuval would really appreciate that. So, Annika, is there anything final you want to say before we continue with the Q&A?
I know Chuck can't listen to this right now because he's working right now, but I just love him so much. We haven't seen each other in 1 year, 2 months, and 11 days now. So it's even harder for me to be so far away from him right now. And it's partly because he hasn't been able to travel because of his health issues, and I don't want to travel before I have my vaccine, which is coming quite closely, actually, which I'm really happy about. But I just want him to know that I love him and miss him, and I'm really eager to see him again. So, yeah.
Thank you, Annika. I really appreciate the time and obviously the pain you're feeling right now. And to come on a live show and do that takes a lot of bravery and courage. And I'm sure all of us here on the forum and here all of us on this chat and anyone listening now will completely support. I'm sure we've all been affected by some way, by talking to Chuck, being taught by Chuck, by experiencing Chuck. So I think it's the least we can do if we can help out.
And I wanna thank everybody who has already donated. Everybody's been really like sharing the post and everything, and I would love to see people keep doing that because the link keeps being seen as many as like days that it's been shared. So just even if you can't afford to donate, just please share the link and make the word go even further and further. So
just to wrap up those links again, www.djwcs.com/Chuck, which takes you to www.gofundme.com/Chuck-needs-help /Yuval.
Thank you, Justin. Annika, thank you so much for that, really. Super appreciated. And anyone who could help, that would be amazing. Andi and I are spreading the word about the GoFundMe, so any donation would be much appreciated. Now, Victoria has to leave because she has a prior commitment. So I want to thank you so much, Victoria, for your time. Amazing answers. Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you here.
I miss you.
I miss you.
I miss you.
And we'll go straight to our next question. And it goes like this. When I get the chance to dance with a top pro like you in a social, I often get nervous. Can you give me a tip on how to make the dance fun for you? Interesting question. Can definitely empathize with that one. Who wants to start?
I can start. I don't want to start all the time, but I have short answers. So if you allow me, I will start.
Of course, go ahead, start.
Well, I don't know who asked that question, but I want to tell that specific person that we are nervous just as much because it's about creating a moment together, you know? So we want to do our best as well. And it's not because we have more hours of practice that we're better, because it's like we have to work together on a dance floor, you know? And then sometimes, like, maybe I'm talking only for myself there, and it might be like an unpopular opinion, but sometimes I feel the pressure of, you know, people like asking me, and because they consider me, you know, better or superior, they have expectations, you know, and I feel the pressure sometimes. I'm like, I'm just here to dance, so don't expect anything. We'll create together. So making it fun, that's the second part of the question here. Well, again, if you're here and ready to share with me and be open about who you are and what you're doing on the dance floor, we're going to have fun. And I like to make jokes when I dance. I rarely take one dance seriously. I'm always, you know, a bit, you know me, vintage pinup style and trying to joke around. And if I don't see any reactions in my leader's face, then I feel very, very awkward. So I just need a, you know, an answer, a response to what I do, and don't take it seriously. And And it's my job to make it work, hopefully, and it's your job to just do you, and it will work.
Nice. Okay, so anyone, if you dance with Estelle, just have fun and make jokes.
Yeah.
Make her
Please
laugh.
just laugh at my jokes, so I feel like I'm being funny.
Laugh at her jokes only. Don't make your own jokes. It's okay too.
I'll go next.
Cool.
Honestly, kind of similar. Like I'm like a spider. I'm more scared of you than you are of me. And scared is not necessarily the right word, but like I get nervous to dance with people because I want to give them like the best dance I can, and I can't give everyone the best dance I can, right? It's kind of hard because I put a lot of those expectations on myself. But I do feel some of that sometimes of like, oh, well, you are the pro, and so then this will be the best dance I've ever had. It's like, well, maybe not. Probably not. But I think in a similar vein, like being present with me in whatever moment we're sharing and enjoying the thing that we're creating together, rather than being so wrapped up in your head about what you have to create on your own. Like, this is a partner dance and I get to be your co-creator. I'm your co-captain in this airplane, basically. And creating with someone is what I love to do. And when someone gets super in their head about creating for me and trying to produce for me, that's when it gets a little awry, because like my goal is we're not making things for each other. We're working together to create something awesome. And so being present and engaged, and just like, this is going to sound silly, make eye contact with me. I have eyes. I love actually making eye contact with people and actually communicating on a deeper level outside of just connection, because you can communicate so much through eyes and focus. And so being present in like body, mind, and soul, rather than just someone on the end of my arm leading me through things.
Oh, definitely. Oh, that was so deep. Thank you so
And
much.
she said eyes, the ones that are up there on my face. I just want to make it clear.
Sorry, you don't have that issue, Estelle.
No, we definitely don't have
Only you have this issue.
Thanks, Sam. What do you think,
So I love like the girl's answer. For me, I would say just get weird with me. It's like
okay.
I like just to get weird on the floor, like to be, maybe it's not silly, but to just explore, explore our own movement and explore the possibilities. And so I don't want expectations on me, and I also don't want to put expectations on you. So it's true that when someone invites us, I feel like they're putting so much pressure on themselves, like they have to maybe be validated, or, they had to prove themselves to us. But it's not the case at all, because we all dancing because we just love to move. So I love when someone step on the floor, invite me to dance, and I can see that he's digging into that inner world, and he's getting so passionate about his own movement, and, being curious about my movement. So I like that. I like that space.
Nice.
I personally struggle when I feel like I'm a ride, that I feel like someone wants to experience me because I'm a pro or something. So I like that sharing. I like that co-creation on the floor, and I like just to step outside of the judgmental zone, or what we think we should do, or get weird. It's my call.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I can add something real quick, because I really like what she said. Like, just get weird, just try stuff. It's great. And again, remember that there is a time and space for us being your teacher, but when we're on a dance floor, we're just dancers, and we're actually dancers first, you know. So don't think we're gonna actually give you feedbacks or think, you know, when we're dancing with you that right away we have the answer of the thing you should do better. This is not even a question in our head. Like, I'm pretty sure I can talk for everybody there. Or stop me if I'm wrong. But it is not the time and space for that. And I have people, you know, sometimes they dance with me and they're like, please tell me if I do something wrong. And I don't like it because this is not the time and place to do that. Like, I want to help you all the time when I can, but not on a dance floor because I'm probably even doing more mistakes that you can possibly imagine by trying stuff. And that's also my creative space there on the dance floor, you know, socially. So no, I'm sorry, I'm not giving feedbacks, not because I don't want you to get better. It's just because I'm not working, I'm just dancing, you know?
Yeah, and it's like, you know, for you, that's the part of the event where you're not working and you deserve to have some fun at this point, right?
And this is where you create and actually connect at a different, easy level with people, you know. So yeah, it's good. It's part of what we like and why we do West Coast Swing.
Yeah, I think it's important that people have it in mind. I mean, of course, people want to get better, and they're like, "Oh, get a chance to dance with a pro. Let's get." But then, yeah, there's the other side that like you're working there and you're working most of the day, and you work long hours, and that's where you want to have fun, and you don't want to start thinking and correcting and teaching. You have enough teaching there.
Even if we want to do it, we can't. We're just not thinking, we're dancing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking for myself though, but
I always tell people, it's like, that's my teacher brain is entirely off. I have like left that teacher brain in my hotel room. It is there until I have to plan my next class for the next day. Like, it's not on the floor with me when I'm having a fun social night, because that's work. And I don't want to be working when I'm social dancing, because that, like you said, like that's our time to actually explore and get creative and make probably a shitload of mistakes. And boy, isn't that fun. Like, it's so cool to be just free to make not even mistakes, but make interesting choices that maybe don't pan out the way you thought they would. And yeah, like having that added, like, oh, can you give me feedback after? I'm like, nope. Nah, not gonna happen. Because it eats into like our fun time, our like an adventure time, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Love that. Thank you so much. We have the next question already in the chat. It's coming from Nir from Israel. Justin, his name is Nir. David is only his last name, but everyone makes that mistake.
Sorry, that's on me. I can't read those.
Anyway, yeah. Thank you, Nir, for the question. It goes like this. Do you see a difference between West Coast swing in America and Europe and the rest of the world in the way it is danced and taught? And how does it affect our dance? And do you think it matters?
Oh, it's a very long question.
And a very tough one, too.
You got this, girls. It's all on you.
Well, Estelle, you're great at starting to answer, so here you go.
Okay, it's gonna be hard to keep it short because that's a long question. But if you ask my personal opinion, the main differences that I experience, again, just my story, might be different for somebody else, is that for me, there is things that I love in every part. Not being PC here, politically correct, but what I love about Europe is the extending connection, the stretch, the quality of movement, and then angles, you know. And in the States, what I love is you get to be able to be whoever you want, you know. And I really feel that freedom in the States that I don't necessarily experience that much in Europe. But people, when they want to dance with you, when they ask you to dance, they just want to play. They just want to have a moment, and they're gonna listen to different things and play more with you than my dances that I have in Europe. So, and it might also be a difference in culture from, again, my perspective, but I feel like sometimes I'm stuck in Europe, you're that person. Estelle Bonnaire means that, and then you have to deliver this. But when I'm in the States, you can pretty much be whoever you want. And people, instead of being like, why do you want to be that person? They're going to be like, cool, you're that bad. How can I help you? And they're like, you get to be whoever you want. And that's the same on the dance floor. You go to an event and this weekend you want to do silly things. You want to try things. You can do it. Or this weekend I'm like a little bit more chill. I just want to take it easy, and that's fine. You can dance with pretty much anybody, and they're going to work with you on that, how you feel at that moment. And I feel in Europe, sometimes like it's a little bit more, you get put in the box, not that's wrong, but they get used to that specific side of your dancing and your personality, and then you have to do that all the time. So sometimes that's the difference. So I like the freedom in the States, and I really like the quality of movement and creativity that Europe brings me. So I need both. I really need both for my life and my sanity. And it's super interesting. The next part of that question is, if I'm not mistaken, is that is it wrong that it is different or something like that?
It's how does it affect our dance, the differences between the West Coast swing in different places, and do you think it matters?
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that it's different, because it's interesting. I think if you never get to travel, then you're just gonna have what you have there and still be happy, because there's no one better than the other. Europe versus the States, like nothing is better than the other. It's just different. So if you don't experience one, or you just experience one, that's fine. So it doesn't matter if it's different. And if you're lucky enough to be able to travel and experience everything, always come with French mind.
Always come with French.
Come with a French perspective.
Come with a fresh mind. Always try to be
Freudian
open.
slip.
We try to stay open and just experience, and again, that's only my experience there. Might be totally different for somebody coming from other places, but this is how I feel about it. And I think there's no competition there. One is better than the other. You need everything. West Coast swing is really open. Everything works as long as you do you. Again, coming back to that authenticity we were talking about earlier.
Cool. Nice.
I can try to also, I feel like for me, and it's weird because I feel there is like more competition opportunity in the States, because like competition is a huge part of the events in the US. And usually I guess the workshop is like all level and things like that. And also the school functioning is different, because I don't think they have so much like follow-up classes like in Europe. I don't know if it's everywhere like this, but usually you subscribe, for a year, and you really go to like every classes, and like you go up level and things like that. So I feel a big difference for me is because there is way much more opportunities to compete in the US. In a weird way, I feel like they're more chill about it. It's like it's not such a big thing. Whether in Europe, I feel like West Coast swing started to be really kind of established on competition, and competition as a stage to exist in a way, or to stand out, or to get, I don't know, an identity or something like that. So it became so
the status symbol.
The status like important. So I feel like in Europe, even like sometimes on a social dance or something like this, I feel like people sometimes are practicing for comps, or there is this kind of I don't know how to say it, but yeah, as Estelle was saying, I feel when I go to US in a social floor, it's very about having fun. It's very musical. It's very kind of sharing together. It's not such a big deal. In Europe, also because of the way the teaching is built, people are really keen to be heavy on like techniques, you know, and like getting perfection in a dancing. I don't know, Estelle, if you can help me, or Alyssa, I don't know if I express myself well. But
Well, it's controversial because like competition is a drive for people in Europe for sure, but it is also a drive in the US, but in a different way. And I think the main difference might just be, you know, again, just my opinion here, but jumping girls. But I feel like in Europe, people compete so they can be better dancers and a better version of themselves. So they wanna be good, and sometimes in the States it's competitions in between themselves. You know, that they have to be better than the other couple. You know, that are competing with them. So that might be that difference here. So yeah, they might be more chill in general, but at a higher level, the competition in the States is a little bit more aggressive. Not that it's bad, but it's there. But the general like community in the States is a little bit more chill than it is in Europe, because in Europe, like even the novice dancers really want to be amazing, you know, just for them. This is how I feel.
Yeah. I would second that. Like I was really interested to hear both of your thoughts first, because you are from Europe, and I've seen this question pop up a lot, and I've mostly been on forums with other Americans with this question popping up. And so I was really fascinated to kind of hear the opinion of two people who are from Europe but who have also traveled a lot and kind of experienced different places and different connections. And I think that's a like really valid point. Like people in the States at a bare minimum, like love dancing totally. And like, if you're not super competitive, they do have the tendency to like get weird with you a little quicker and kind of be okay with getting weird with you. At a higher level, the competition is definitely stronger between people. So there's more of that like external driving force of, oh, that person's doing better, so that means I need to do better so I can be better than them. Versus, like Estelle was saying, in Europe, it seems like people are getting better for themselves, which, wow, that's a really nice thing. And I don't think it matters. Like, I do think it affects the dance, but in kind of a positive way, because with those differences, like when you do get to travel, you get to experience not just like a different connection or a lot of different connections, but a different like method and a different idealization of how people are moving and why. And so I think it's actually really beneficial to have people travel and dance with different people, because they all have different priorities. I think when Americans started going over to Europe and dancing over there and competing over there, it actually was a good little switch for a lot of the higher level dancers, because it wasn't a matter of, I need to be better than this person. It's like, no, they're already so much better than me. I just want to be better than myself. And so a lot of the US like higher level dancers who went over to Budapest or the various events that were happening came back with a better mentality.
Wow.
And I think that's pretty cool. So like, thank you, Europe, for teaching us that.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Wow.
That's interesting. I like that because I mean, I like that it's different, and I like that we can meet in the middle as well. You know, and that's really good because we influence each other, and I really hope that all the teachers in Europe, but also in the States, remember that it's okay to be different, and then there is good and bad to, you know, take and leave. So that we need to always have an open mind every time we teach or every time we dance, and it's really important.
I feel like actually, just like jumping on this, I think what I was trying to say is, you know, because in Europe, the events are smaller overall. So I feel like the competition and the points are maybe harder to get, you know, like to get to the next level. It takes maybe more time or like more event or something like that. So I feel like there is
people put even more pressure on themselves, you know, to get to the event and to place. And I just feel like this is a difference between US and Europe in maybe the mentality and how they approach things and how, the dance is shaped as well. And another thing is Europe doesn't have the history of the US about the history of West Coast swing. We kind of like arrive there and we love the dance and we love that it can be danced on like every music. And also most of the European dancers come from very different background. We've got a lot of salsa dancers or rock and roll or, you know, like those things. So I also feel Europe is, I don't know, like a bunch of different styles or like influences, and US is very established on the history of swing, and this is also something that definitely I feel differs between Europe and US. I guess so.
True. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that's also why it feels like sometimes so interesting for people in the States to come in Europe and be like, whoa, there is a lot more than I thought I could do. And then same thing, like, oh, there is a lot more that I thought I knew good West Coast swing, but actually there is a lot of swing into West Coast swing that I don't know about. So
the mix is amazing.
Mixing everything is the best way. Like trying to meet in the middle is pretty amazing. So if everybody can travel, I'll push you to do so. That's the best
when we can.
Exactly. soon.
We can. Let's meet in the middle, just not in the Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
I think we have Stephen White here who wants to answer the question.
Not him. No.
No.
Even you're welcome to unmute if you want.
He's typing. He says he's here to support.
Thank you. Thank you for not ruining it by
Appreciate.
We appreciate. Love you.
Okay.
And I miss you too.
So we can move on to the next question. It's coming from Ari from Finland. Hey, Ari. Thank you for being here with us. It goes like this. I've missed social dancing much more than event dancing. I think it's because I only see people only once in a while at events. I probably would only attend the ones close to me, even if all of them would open at once. What do you think? And to add to that, before you answer, we have an answer from Christian Keller who wants to kind of add to that. He says it's the opposite for him, actually. He says, the people I'm close with from my local scene, I could meet during lockdown, but I'm desperate to see my international friends again. It's been way harder to stay in touch with them. So how do you feel about that, ladies?
I'm not going first, guys.
Okay.
The question is basically like, what do we think about attending events and kind of the people that we're missing?
Yeah. Who are you missing more? What are you missing more? What are you missing most? How are you feeling about your local socials and events?
Yeah. I'm missing literally everyone on this call, and that's it.
That's very sweet.
No, I mean it's actually kind of weird because there's definitely people in the community that live nearby that I haven't seen in a year and a half, and then people who live far away like Victoria, who I have seen a lot this year. So and then I'll have random days where I just miss this random person from my workshop one time from 3 years ago. Like there's no rhyme or reason. Like it just pops up. But like that one person who you would always social dance with, but you don't really remember their name, but they were always fun. Like I have that pop in all the time. And most of the time they're not people that are like it's not, like I really miss Jordan and Todd. I love them. They're great. Miss them too. But it's the people that make up the social aspect of social dancing. It's the Joe Schmoes of the world. I miss Joe. Like I want to see those people because
they're the people that I took for granted. They're the people that I expected would be there. And now that they're not, it hit me how much I missed their lack and how they weren't around. And so for me, that is kind of distributed across the world. Like, it's not just local, it's not just far away, because I had those connections in a variety of places.
I love that.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, I'm 100% with you, Alyssa, on that, and that gives me goosebumps. You know, I'm like, oh yeah. But I also want to say I miss the people that I haven't met yet. You know what I mean? It's like, it is really about that for me. I miss that, you know, when you go to an event and then you turn around, you ask somebody to dance you never met before, maybe you did, but you don't remember, and that's the connection right here, and those people are amazing. That's what I miss. I miss getting to know new people. I miss, you know, that moment where you don't know why you have a random conversation with them, you know, because you're on your way to the dance floor and then you talk, you know. I miss that. So I miss people that I used to hang out with for sure, but like, those are my people that I always have, you know, around me, I feel like. So yes, obviously I want more connection with them, but what I'm craving for is new people and new connection, because I'm a social animal though. I don't go to people, but I love that people come to me. That's how I see my life. So I miss that. And also it's hard for me to say anything about local because I don't feel local. I feel like I go everywhere, wherever I feel like it, you know. So I don't have anybody that is local for me. Like, all my friends, like we said earlier, are like friendships that are overseas or long distance. And then I have people from long ago, like Emmeline. We were in the university together, so we were together, and then we became really good friends through dancing, and then traveling together, and then meeting at random events, you know, or even like our first competition overseas. We have done it together, like over 10 years ago.
My first US event, I've done it with Estelle.
Exactly. We're in vacation in San Francisco for 3 weeks, and we decided to do instant boogie by the bay. We had no idea how the points were working, but we signed up for the competition, you know. So that you have people that are always going to be around, and you know, I know if anything happens, I can call Emmeline and she'll always be there, you know. So those are like the core people, but also the new people. I can't wait to meet new people. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, the same for me as Estelle. I didn't really get the chance to really invest in a local community, because like we're traveling so much. When I get home, it's like I want to break from dancing most of the time, unfortunately. But I definitely miss familiar faces. I just want to be in the same place as all those faces that I used to see around, and like even just a presence, you know, even if we don't really talk, or sometimes we just say hi and a hug, but it creates a certain atmosphere that I love. So I miss that. I miss my dear friends from the community, my peers, because it's also great to share with other professional at every event, to get inspiration from them and from the attendees. And I miss the community, I would say, simply just being surrounded by passionate people.
Thank you so much for that. Definitely understand it. We have our last question now, and then we gotta wrap up. And the last question is, what is your best memory of each other? Alyssa, do you want to start this time?
Oh boy, yeah. This is going to be inappropriate.
I'm scared. If you said nipple day, I kill you.
Oh my god! I was about to say nipple day.
Yeah, no, like 100%. I was like, "What's the story?" I was like, "Oh, nipple day. It's gotta be nipple day."
Okay, do tell.
No, no way.
Y'all might have to help me fill in the details because I don't remember all of the things that ended up happening. We were at the Wine West.
Yeah,
Yes,
West.
Yeah.
one in Bordeaux. Yeah.
Yeah, in Bordeaux. And I think I think Estelle was talking with one of our mutual friends in the States. And somehow we were all just in the staff room pressuring that person to send a photo of their nipple. And we're like, yeah.
What?
And it was
Just
fine
a
pressure.
joke.
It wasn't like inappropriate. It was just a joke. And we were able to that person sent a photo over, and then everyone in the staff room also was like, yeah, that seems fine. So we all did it too. And I think we then officially dubbed that day Nipple Day. And I remember I put it in my calendar for
Me too.
like reoccurring as like Nipple Day. And so like every once a year, we'll get like a staff group text of just like, hey, happy Nipple Day.
Yeah, and sometimes a picture.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain. I think it's funny mostly for us though.
Yeah.
but
Funny for everyone right now.
We should
as
make
I
it
said,
international.
We
Oh,
should.
Yeah. When
Need
is
that day.
International Nipple
What's
Day?
the date? What's the actual date of Nipple Day? I'm just interested.
It's around Valentine's Day in February. I think
It's
that's that
February.
third weekend.
I can tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the 25th. 25th of February.
25th. It's in our
25th of
calendar.
February.
Okay, cool. It's in our West Coast Swing calendar now.
Oh no, what have I done?
I love that.
Alyssa,
That's
just-
a memory. Only the three of us. It's like it's that
Yeah.
memory that wraps up our friendship here. So that's funny.
Basically, yeah.
Oh my god. I think nothing can top that right now.
There's no
I
way.
genuinely don't think you can top Nipple Day. That's gold, absolute gold.
Oh god.
Yeah, if you want to add things about memories and stuff, go ahead. If not, Justin.
Oh, that's
Um,
just the best. That's the only thing you gotta get from us, and that's. I mean, I have memories only pictures that I have. I don't have one single picture with Alyssa that is a serious face. We always make weird faces, so I have quite a collection of that. And I have tons of great memories of travels with Emmeline. I think my biggest and most loved travels overseas mostly were with Emmeline, and that's everything to me.
I tried to match Estelle with one of my high school. No, it was like university friend when we met. I remember that.
Yes.
How did that go?
Like she was doing a party at her house. I don't remember why. Was it like you had a new apartment or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had this story. Also, we were supposed to move together to Canada with Estelle.
Sure.
Like when we were at the university together, and we were both wanting to, I don't know, escape or have like, I don't know, something else. And we started to plan moving to Canada together. She did. I didn't.
Fine. You had other experiences.
Yeah.
Basically just abandoned her.
No, it wasn't like that. Like just different things coming up, in life.
Yeah. Yeah, different. But yeah. I remember Alyssa saved my life at the US Open how do you say awards thing, because as usual I don't bring proper clothes. And I remember that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that beautiful black dress that
I remember that. And afterwards I was like, you should probably just keep this because it looks so much better.
No, but like it was definitely a life saver there. I mean, yeah, so many intense memory with Lisa's too. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah. Yeah. And I guess Victoria is not there anymore, but we were talking about it before. I was like, oh, what would we talk about when it comes to like the experiences we shared? And I was like, I cannot mention anything because anything was illegal.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just getting better, and Andy, I think, is gonna stop us soon. And
I thought we really topped it out with nipples, but illegal, great, just fantastic.
I won't tell anything, but then you can let your imagination, you know.
It's even better because she's not there to defend herself. So that's fun.
oh wow. Okay, I think, Justin, the stage is yours.
Yeah, before you get shut down by YouTube and Facebook. Topi, do you want to tell people what's going on after the Q&A, please? Has Topi died? I don't know. Topi, you there? Do you want to tell everyone what's going on after the Q&A?
Sure. Sorry, there's just a penalty on the football game. So it resumed.
Please,
let's wait until they kick it.
Yeah, but so basically it's just hanging out, talking what you feel like talking, getting to know each other. It might take 15 minutes, 5 minutes, or 5 hours. We'll see how it goes, how people feel. Feel free to stay and just hang around, and we're gonna be doing more of those later. Maybe not as regularly during the summer, as I hope people get to go outside, not stay inside. Though you couldn't use Discord on your phone for sure, but anyway. That's
okay.
See you there.
Thanks very much, Topi. So if you do want to hang out afterwards and you can do a little social, I think they all chat amongst themselves, turn on the webcams and shock each other. I've got to say, I've done a lot of radio in my time, and you girls have really topped it. It's been a fantastic episode. You've blown me away with all the answers, some great content, so thank you very much. Huge thanks to the moderation team, Topi, Andreas and Krysha. Without these guys, especially Topi today, I don't think this would have actually came together. Topi literally rescued us and got Victoria back. Obviously, you've done a great job, as always. And thank you to our West Coast Swing Dancers. We really didn't think we'd get you four in the same room at the same point. So huge thanks to Emmeline, Alyssa. I know Victoria's not here, but thank you. We're going to send you a copy of the rest of the episode. And Estelle as well. Thank you for your memories, your insights, the nipples, the illegal stuff, where you are in the whole world. And thanks to everyone who stuck around and listened for the last 2 hours. We're actually on time for once, which is great. We do this for you. You're the real stars, listeners. And thank you very much. So good night, stay safe, and we all hope to be on the dance floor sometime soon. I really do, because I'm really missing DJing, and I'm also missing social dancing as well.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. And
thank you, guys.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you.